Chet, the team went through so many of these types of experiences last season. You kind of got to be a part of those, but this is your first time and their first time, doing all of that with you. What are these moments like to kind of be in the heat of the battle against a really big physical team like that?
Like you said, it's great learning experiences. There's a lot of emotion that comes with it, both good and bad. And obviously it hurts to lose, and it just fires us up more to get back in tomorrow and figure out what we got to do to be better, and stack plays and stack games, and try to come out with a win every night.
That first quarter, it seemed like you all really took advantage of their aggressiveness defensively, got the ball zipping around. When they started switching and going to zone, what changed in terms of the offensive flow for you all?
Early on, I feel like we did a good job of getting stops and letting that feed into our offense. We got out in transition, and the ball was really flying around, like you said. And when it does that, it has energy, and we start making good plays and making plays for each other. I think that was big early, and credit to the Pelicans coaching staff. They did a good job of making adjustments to try and throw us off with that, with the zone and switching and stuff. And it's just stuff we got to figure out and get better at, so that we can continue playing our way through that stuff.
Chet, Lou and Mark talked about a collective effort to help you on the glass. From your point of view, what are some of the things you're seeing mid-game that are maybe preventing them from helping you on the glass the way they want to?
Yeah, I mean, it's a game of basketball. It's not. Apologies. It's the game of basketball. It's not a game of throw it off the backboard and see who gets it. So they have a lot of assignments, as do myself, and at the end of the possession, the last assignment has to be if they miss the shot, we got to go get the rebound. And like Lou and Coach were saying, it's going to have to be a collective effort. And me personally, I'm gonna have to start by looking at myself and being better on the glass. And I'm sure everybody else on the team is going to do the same. And we're going to come back and try to be better each night with that.
Chet, Detroit was a great offensive rebounding team, and you guys did a pretty good job against them. What was different tonight in terms of maybe what you guys weren't doing, or maybe just what the Pelicans did better?
Two different teams. They do different things, and I'm gonna have to go back and watch the game tape and see exactly what it was. But they really put a lot of effort into it, and that's the biggest key to coming away with offensive rebounds. If you don't put the effort in, you're not going to get them, and they did that tonight. And we got to come back and be better, so that's not hurting us.
Game kind of changed for them in the second quarter. What do you feel like the issues were for you guys?
I wouldn't say issues for us in the second quarter. We did a good job early of really stopping the ball and not letting it find the shooters. And in the second quarter, they were able to do that. They found shooters and they were knocking down threes, and that the threes run the score up real quick. So I think that's what it was in the second quarter.
Andrew Schlecht with The Athletic. This is obviously not the result that you wanted, but this was your first close game to play in front of the Oklahoma City crowd. I was just curious your thoughts on what it felt like to be out there in the closing moments of a pretty intense game.
It's not really a point in time where you're really feeling this or feeling that. You're just really focused on executing the details. Especially down the stretch, those really matter. And down the stretch, I feel like we did a great job of really locking in and making the details matter. And we just weren't able to come away with the win tonight.
And part of me is, I guess, curious, but just with the crowd involved specifically, with the OKC crowd.
Man, it's huge. They give us energy. When we have a good play go our way, they can just kind of stack on top of that with the cheering, and we're always thankful to have them. Home court is super important to us, and they're a huge part of that. So we're appreciative of them showing up every single night, and they do that every single night. Show up.
You got Derek in the front, and you wrap. Chet, you talk a lot about how in the NBA you're going to play stars every single night. Tonight's was Zion. How do you feel you did against him as a team collectively?
I feel like we did a good job of executing the game plan. With really talented guys, they're gonna make plays, and it's a long game, 48 minutes. So it's really the game plan is to make it hard and really make them work for what they get. And I feel like we did that tonight. And credit to him and the Pelicans. They made good plays and were able to come out with the win.
Bally Sports. Shai, you all saw so much trapping and doubling last season, and they did that some, and you guys really picked it apart tonight. But then when they went to switching and went to zone, what changed in terms of you guys' offensive rhythm that you felt out there?
I don't know. I feel like we were playing really fast and decisive in the first quarter. It kind of got bogged down a little bit. I'm not too sure exactly why. Probably watch film and figure that out. But yeah, the ball was hopping in the first quarter.
You guys went through so many of these types of opportunities and situations last year, but it's kind of a new group. Guys have evolved and changed. Does it feel like you got to go through some of these things again too to continue to learn about who you're going to be in these fourth quarter games and crunch time situations?
Yeah, it's a long season. Play a lot of games, a lot of outcomes, a lot of things can happen. You just try to learn from all of them and try to stay in the moment.
What else we got? Right in the back.
Intersect to the Athletic. Mark said that you hyperextended your knee during the game. How are you feeling now?
It feels all right. It feels good.
Daniel?
22 offensive rebounds for them, which results in 27 points. What do you feel like the issue or what do you feel like you guys could have done better to slow that down?
Maybe be more physical, box out some more. I know I missed a few of those assignments. There's so many things you can do. Gang rebound, whatever it was, we didn't do enough of it clearly to win. They got too many second chance points for sure.
Then when guys are being more physical with you, do you feel like you need to be a little bit more physical, or do you feel like you just need to continue to play your game?
Play my game. I've played through so many coverages and assignments and different defenders and players. Just always play my game.
Shai, your free throw attempts per game about half what they were last year. Mark was talking about maybe some guys are staying down a little bit more on shot fakes. Have you noticed that? Is there anything else you've noticed about the way teams are playing you?
It feels like defenders are allowed to be a little bit more physical this year. That's just what it feels like. But yeah, I don't know really. But yeah, I guess they're doing a better job of not fouling this year for sure.
Thank you, Shai.
You guys are still kind of racking up these experiences of having big leads, coming back from big leads. Just what did you kind of feel from the group as you guys tried to make that comeback after kind of what had happened in the previous three quarters?
Yeah, we was trying to fight till the end. Credit to them; they had a great game. They did a good job coming back in the game. But we got to do a better job, when we got the lead like that, to keep finding the best shot and playing together. I feel like it was a tough one on that one, but credit to them, they did a good job coming back in the game.
Yeah, they were trapping Shai some early, then kind of did some switching and then went to zone. What did you sense was kind of like making it difficult offensively for you all based on how they defended tonight?
They mixed up their defense, which was good. They just did a good job of getting some stops. We kind of find some good ones that we couldn't knock down, but at the end they just did a good job adjusting.
Lou, your guys' first shot defense was really good. They shot 39%, but they get 21 offensive rebounds. You guys are going to play small a lot of the time. What do you have to do to kind of prevent some of that?
Really be more physical, and then everybody has to go crash the boards. I mean, they got some big guys, but if we play a small ball, everybody got to go down and crash and try to get a rebound.
You went toe-to-toe with Zion for a decent bit tonight. How do you feel like you did on him personally and then collectively as a team?
Did okay. He took a lot of shots. He's a good player. We were just trying to make it tough for him. He kind of got going in the second half, but overall, I feel like we did a decent job.
22 offensive rebounds for them. Do you feel like that was more of their size, or feel like you guys could have done a little bit more to get on the boards?
We could have done a little bit more, helping Chet a little bit more down there. He was fighting, but still, us guards, we got to go in there and help him and trying to get one. So yeah, they did a good job. Just really crashing and setting guys to the board.
Anybody else? Go in the front.
Lou, you mentioned doing more to help Chet. The other night, you guys helped him a ton against a better rebounding team. I guess what are some of the things that take away from that effort maybe when trying to help Chet on the glass?
Just knowing that he's a good one. Sometimes he can handle himself, but when they're sitting a lot of guys, it's tougher for him. So, but overall, we all gotta really get in there to get the ball and then secure it to know that we can run in transition. But it's one of the big things for us to get the rebound first.
Lou, you've talked a lot about just staying ready, and you were ready late in the game where you hit that three and then you get the moving screen. There haven't been a lot of those this year where that was sort of like a pattern for you. Is there anything that's changed about the referees that they're calling that? Because I know you have your tricks that you won't mention, but is there anything that you've had discussions with the referees on why you think that's different?
Nah, people's been scouting. They know how to screen, I guess. But one thing I'm trying to do is to stay in front of the ball. If it's a bad screen, it's a bad screen. It's up to the ref. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to stay in front of the ball, and I always got to stay ready. Shea did a good job, fighting me at the end. But at the end of the day, I got to play the whole game and really finish the game.
Lou, obviously you spent a good amount of time on Zion. Just how tough a cover does he become when he starts passing like he did in the third?
You saw, he did a good job, just finding his guys. We was in there, we all know he's a strong driver. So we was really in there, and then, he was making the plays that he had to make, and credit to his team, they made some shots.
Mark, they changed up defenses quite a bit tonight, it seemed like. Can you kind of just take me through the different looks that they gave you and some of the challenges that they presented?
Yeah, I thought they kept us on our toes there for sure. A lot of it had to do with who they had out there at the five, whether it was Valanciunas or Nance or Williamson at times. The zone, threw us off kilter a little bit to start the fourth. So they did a good job. I thought they coached and played a really good game.
You guys have so much experience making those comebacks from large leads. What do you think about this team this early in the season getting this experience of losing one and kind of having to calibrate that moving forward?
Yeah, I thought good poise by the team to understand the length of the game. I forget what it was with like 4:47 at that time out, but it was 8, 10, 11 points or something, which obviously you can close if you stack good possessions. I thought it was similar to the Cleveland game in that our offense kind of vacillated in and out of the way we want to play, and then when our back was against the wall, we had really quality possessions, and we have to apply that to all 48. But it's a good lesson to learn, and it stings when you lose. Hopefully we can learn it and be better.
Mark, they're a good offensive rebounding team. They get 21, 27 second chance points. When you guys are playing as small as you're going to play a lot of times, what do you have to do to prevent some of that?
Team effort. All five guys have to get in there and have to account for their guy. It's not one guy for them rebounding, and it's not one guy for us tasked with blocking out. It's going to be a five-man effort. We accept, when we go, and we played Jalen Williams at the five at one time tonight. When we go that small, we're obviously accepting some trade-offs, and those are my decisions. And, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But generally, we have to have a team mentality in every area of the game, including rebounding.
Game kind of turned for them in a positive way in the second quarter. What do you feel like the issue was for you guys?
Well, some of it's just like in the first quarter, I thought they missed a couple shots. We had a really good team rhythm going. I thought we did a good job defending as well. We made them go to kind of plan B, so to speak. I thought our offense really stalled. We had 7 points in the last 7 or 6 minutes or something, and I thought the way we played in that quarter changed a little bit. And it's like I said before the game, it's hard to maintain a team rhythm. There's an opponent out there. It requires all 5 guys on the court at the same time playing in that kind of way. So it's not easy to sustain that, but the good teams do. And if we want to be a good team, we have to do it, more often than we did tonight.
And you guys were pushing the pace in the first quarter, really worked for you guys, kind of threw them off a little bit, and then it seemed like it changed. Was that more of them making shots, or was that more of you guys just, or do you feel like you guys could have played with more pace?
I think obviously the shot making, when the ball's going through the net, it's harder to generate that type of pace. It's easier, obviously, if you're getting stops. I thought, less pace, more like movement, body movement, ball movement. I didn't think, there was, in a vacuum, it wasn't like a ton of bad shots. It was probably just like a string of okay shots that cumulatively end up hurting you. And I thought that's what the case was in the second quarter there.
Mark, the other night we were talking about the collective effort on the glass, and tonight obviously a different story. I wonder how much is there a balance between personnel and effort there, and is there a long-term fix there without any drastic change?
All I'd say on that is that the same personnel that played the game against Detroit, which was I think they're the leading offensive rebounding team in the league, the same personnel that played that game played tonight. So we were capable of doing the job there well enough. On that night, we didn't do it well enough tonight, and it wasn't any different players on the court for us.
Andrew Schlecht of The Athletic, Zion Williamson is such a physical force, especially getting downhill with the ball in his hands. How'd you guys feel like you handled him throughout the night?
We had some cracks there, but generally pretty good. I thought we were okay there in terms of the shots we forced him to shoot. I thought we put him in a crowd. Credit him. I thought he made some good passes. Throughout the game. They didn't make as many shots in the first half as they did in the second, and those guys delivered a little bit. But I thought in terms of execution of the game plan, we were okay.
In particular, can you talk about Lou Dort being on Zion for a little bit? In the fourth quarter, it really looked like he had some success there.
Yeah, we're going to mix up matchups. Lou's obviously got the physical strength to go against anybody, and so we're not afraid to put him on a guy like Williamson. We're going to move matchups around. We've got a number of versatile defenders. We had Kaysen out there tonight on McCollum at times with Lou guarding other guys and switching. Obviously, we can use Jalen all over the floor. Shai's helped us at times. So Wiggins obviously, does a nice job. So we're going to move the matchups around based on what we think's best in different parts of the game.
Shai looked like he turned his left ankle. Did he express discomfort to you, or did he just kind of play through it?
Wasn't an ankle. I think he just hyperextended his knee a little bit, but I think he's fine. Obviously, if he wasn't fine, he wouldn't have gone back in the game.
You guys had Josh at the free throw line, and then Chet on the wing a little bit more tonight. Is that a look that you guys are just trying to look at, or is that something that they come up with? Or
I think what you're referring to was a zone attack. I think the New Orleans was playing zone, and we put Josh in the middle of the zone because obviously he's got great passing instincts. So we try to get the ball in there to him and then start cutting and moving around it. I think that's what those are the plays you were referring to.
Similar question to Andrew. Olivier Sarr was slow getting to the bench at one timeout. Is he good?
Yeah, he got hit in a very sensitive area, but he's fine.
Yeah, I'm just curious about your thought process at the end of the game with just substitutions. You put in Giddey at the end of the game. Was that ever a thought process for you as far as keeping the guys in that had kind of gotten you back into the game, or subbing in a starter?
Delicate balance. It's going to be different on different nights. I liked the way he was playing, competing. I thought he could help us on the glass with his size a little bit. But we'll roll with lineups at different times. I didn't think any lineup tonight, to be honest with you, was so potent that it was worth sticking with. And those guys, have to be in these experiences, and those 5 in particular, if they're going to start for us, need to build chemistry and collectively go try to get that one. That was my mindset on it.
When you don't play a guy like Zion that often, is it harder to game plan for when he does play, or do you just use the film from a few years ago, or do you use the film from a few games ago, or what's the how much tougher is it to game plan for him?
Every player is unique, but I think there's archetypes of players. So there's players that we would guard similarly to him, that you kind of build kind of a collective understanding of the league by grouping players. So you're not seeing every player as an individual entity. You're kind of grouping guys that you have to pick up high that shoot. You have to, you group guys that you're willing to help off of that don't shoot as much. You have guys like him that are obviously more unique, but there are guys like him that you have certain game plans for when they've got the ball and they're kind of downhill attackers.
Anybody else? Go ahead, last one.
Mark, we've seen you use Kaysen as a screener a decent amount now. I'm just curious how helpful you feel he's been in those situations.
He's great because you could put him in any situation. He's just got great versatility. He can do everything. Obviously, it allows us to invert the floor a little bit. It allows us to choose matchups a little bit when everybody can do everything, and we're trying to develop players that can do everything, and he's a quick study, so he's picking it up very quickly.